to me, social networking today is really nothing different when I got into the profession being asked to go into Rotary. And when you go to the first Rotary meeting, you don't go try to sell yourself as a CPA to everybody the first week. You kind of join in the community and listen, and you kind of become a participant, and then you start to contribute. With this social networking, you can maintain a whole lot more good quality relationships than you could through Rotary. And we get caught up, well, how much time do you spend on this? Well, maybe you'd be better spending an hour a day on this rather than taking somebody out to lunch for an hour and a half and spending $50 on lunch. You might be able to have better social contacts. I'm not saying that's the only way, because one size fits one again. If you look at marketing today, look at the bottom down there. Text ads on mobile phones isn't very high. Ads before movies, people don't really trust them. The highest thing is a recommendation by somebody else. So if you go to Amazon to buy a book, if I tell you Socialnomics is a good book, that probably is going to prompt most of you just to go buy that book. Now let's take this 2 years forward. I'm a consumer, and I need a CPA. And I want somebody just to do my 1040. And I'm in Kansas City. I just moved here, and I really don't know who any of the CPA firms are. But I'm going to search this on Google, and I'm probably going to find recommendations on who did tax work for me. Now, if I influence that and have positive, it's a lot better than I ignore it, and I end up with negatives out there. And let's say I do have the one guy, because we're all going to get somebody that we can't work with. It's just not, they don't like to work with us. They don't want to pay the fee. But if I've got 5 or 10 people that do, they will take care of that one negative person that puts it up there. They'll say, I didn't experience it that way. I've had nothing but great service. Get used to this. Get ready to it, because it's going to happen. Intuit already has the software to do some of this stuff. And I think we're going to see recommendations on the website be very, very powerful. This is my friend wheel. What this does is you go around the wheel, it tells you where all the connections are. Now, you've all talked about CRM, and the CRM packages that have been the most successful in our industry and other industries are the one that track who knows whom and who's related in those relationships. With this and what's in Facebook, those tools are already built in. And so we're going to see this incorporated into Outlook and into Microsoft CRM and the other CRM packages, this Facebook, because it's all about relationships.
With Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, you have different applications where, for example, I use Hootsuite. I control all 3 of them. And I have it scheduled every half hour, every hour, a blurb to go out. So I'm not at work, and George and Charles aren't like, you're on Facebook again? No, I did it the night before, and I have it scheduled every half hour to go out. So you guys can work real hard from 8 to 5 and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, I forgot to post an hour ago. What am I going to do? You have different sorts of applications that you can use to help you out with this.
Here's a few demographics just to show you how popular this is. This was taken in January of 2009. There were 42 million total in the U.S. that were on Facebook. The next one is August 4th of 2009. There were 77 million people on Facebook. The growth in age 55 and above was 513%. Here's an important thing. I think that if you're going to participate, or if you're going to have a community, participate in that community, just like you would in a real life community. And if you don't, and that's one of the things we're trying to do, is get our information. You know, I've written an article for Accounting Today for a long time, and I've required our people to write something once a month just because I think it's a great exercise. Makes you a better writer. It captures your thoughts, and it makes when you write it down, if you're going to show it to somebody else, you better think it through before you publish it out there. And I think you've got to participate in that. We hear all the time, people are wasting time. We got to shut this off on the network. Well, I contend you have people wasting time on the telephone. I contend we had people going out for smoke breaks wasting time. And this is how they communicate. Don't take these communication tools away from them. Influence them positively. Tell them what the policies and procedures are and get on with your work. Because it's like living next door to a fraternity house. You can't stay up enough hours to avoid all the pranks. So you better get along with them, or they can do an awful lot of damage when you have to sleep.